Hello my dudes and welcome to Planet Coaster 2. This game launched a couple of days ago and in it you get to build a theme park complete with roller coasters, water slides, swimming pools, shops, everything you can imagine in a theme park. If you played Planet Coaster 1, you know exactly what Planet Coaster 2 is going to be about. And if you played Planet Zoo, it's kind of the same but without the animals. There's a few big changes which we'll get into once we get in-game. Before we do, the workshop has been massively changed. So no longer will you be using the Steam Workshop to get your cool things that you want to download. Instead, Frontier have their own specific workshop, which is actually pretty good. They did not take a leaf out of Cities Skylines books, and they actually made a really good in-game workshop of their own. And already there's a few amazing creations here. If you've ever been to Alton Towers, which is in England, and honestly it's an amazing theme park, you can build one of the famous rides there, 13. Also, if you want, you can build a car park. I don't know why someone would spend hours building a car park, but here you go. They've done it so you don't have to. So the workshop is very cool, a great place to find cool designs you can just plump down in your world, and oh my god, there's some amazing things here. Anyway, let's jump in and get our theme park started. Now you can pick anywhere in the world to put down your first theme park, and we're looking for a few important things to get going. Now I'm looking for more of a challenge here, so I don't want a lot of park currency, and I don't want a lot of research points. What I do want though is a tropical biome because I like the idea of a tropical theme park. So where better to start than Madagascar? You get very little park currency, no research points, so we're going to have to grind those out, but that'll be worthwhile, and apparently very demanding guests. Well okay, let's get going. Now we're not going to dwell on the fact that somehow 500 or so people managed to squeeze into 3 buses. We're going to get going and start designing our pretty amazing park. Now the first thing we're going to want to do is build a path. So we'll pause the game because we don't want these guys to get bored and go home, which it looks like they're already doing. I don't know why they turned up anyway. The path builder is super cool now. There's been loads of new changes to this. It's just like in Planet Zoo if you played that and Planet Coaster. Very simple. You put paths around your park and it's how you connect things. You can also by default attach bins to the paths. This is kind of essential because in the modern age, the average park goer is a degenerate and a reprobate and will litter everywhere. But it's very easy to get some very cool, slick looking paths into your park. And again, everything kind of matches up quite well. The system is really powerful. Now, outside of paths, what you can actually do is use the stamp tool. And this is really exciting. This is where you can kind of put down hexagons, octagons, or pentagons, and have that be like the basis for your park. So check this out. Oh my god, yeah, and you could build the whole park out of these kind of like weird hexagons. Very cool. I kind of like that effect. It certainly keeps things interesting, and you don't have to just use hexagons, you can also mix and match by having some curves here and there as well. Anyway, we'll bring it back to just one hexagon, and I do like the idea of starting our park with a hexagon. I think it's a nice big space for people to maneuver around in. And what we're going to do is have 2 staircases that come out from these prongs that go up to like a raised section. So we're going to build a pretty simple path setup, and I'll come back to you in a sec. And there we go, my dudes. Using the path tool, we've got this pretty cool suspended, stamped out path. I think this looks pretty cool. This is going to be the basis for how we're doing the whole park. I like the idea of just hexagons connected by these kind of straight sections of path. I think that's going to be really cool. But it does look a bit janky. It's raised up, and in a perfect world, we'd kind of hide these supports from the public eye. Also, what the hell is this doing here? I know we need bins everywhere because these guys are trashaholics, but we could certainly stand to move these bins. Luckily enough, that's very easily done, so we can move this one down here to the bottom of the stairs. That'll make sense. We'll do the same for this one over here. And also we're going to duplicate these bins because it could be good to put a few of these just lying around the park. You always want enough so that people can throw away their trash. It's always a bad time if they don't. And again, I'm a big fan of symmetry, and that's what we're going for in this park, so we're going to plonk these over here as well. Perfect. So now we come down to scenery, and I reckon we can splash around some rocks. Now, unlike in the old kind of Planet Zoo, you don't actually have to research new styles. In fact, if we go up to here to Park Management and take a look at the research section, you can see that the only research you do is coasters, tracked rides, water, power, transport, flat rides, and flumes. But also, most importantly, because we chose a hard start, we don't have any research points yet. To get research points, we'll need to build a mechanic's hut and hire a mechanic. But for now, we're going to focus on the rides, because we've got a lot of dudes waiting to get in. We need to give them a reason to be in. But again, before we do that, it would be nice to hide these supports. So we're going to see if we can find some rocks. We're looking for nature and rocks. Here we go. Now you get a load of pre-made rocks here. That's not really what we're looking for. We're looking for like un-pre-made rocks. So maybe we don't want to be in the scenery tab. Instead, we're going to look at scenery brush. And what does this give you? Okay, so you can use a brush now to paint down rocks. How does this work? Let's give it a try. So if I'm going to paint down rocks here. Okay, wow. This is really powerful. It's interesting, different, and very cool. You've got to be very careful with this because you could end up clipping into your paths if you're not careful, like we have done here. But for the most part, this is a pretty cool tool. So we'll paint some there, and we'll paint some over this side as well. Oh man, yeah, that's so powerful. So not only that, we can probably do the same with, I imagine, trees. So we're looking for tropical trees, not temperate trees, not autumn trees. Where are the tropicals? Oh, in fact, we should probably use tropical rocks. So we're going to go back and remove these rocks and turn them into tropical ones. Oh yeah, that looks a little bit better, I suppose. Sure. And there we go, the rocks are in place. Now let's put down some trees. We're looking for tropical trees, not Mediterranean. There we go, tropical large trees. That'll do. A few smaller plants for good measure, just to kind of round things off at the front, and I think we are looking pretty good. Oh yeah, amazing. So that is terrain kind of handled. You can get a bit more in-depth and put down specific trees at exactly the right location you want, but the fact that these brushes exist is really cool and that's really powerful. So what's the first thing we're going to do? Well, we're going to build a water park, so the first thing we want to do is build a swimming pool, that's right. Now there's a lot of pre-made pools you can put down here, and these are amazingly cool. Very simple and dripping with decoration, they're ready to go. There's also some massive ones if you want like an Olympic swimming pool. There you go, it's at your fingertips. But if you also want one that comes with a pre-made slide, look at that flume. Oh yeah, very cool. You can also do that, but we're gonna make our own, because why not? Now there's a lot of options when building a swimming pool. You can use all of the tools that you use to make a path. It's basically the same thing, but you can swim in this path. Also, there is textures, so we can choose a different kind of color. Because we're tropical, we're going to go for a bit more of a teal, a bit more of a cerulean. We're going to keep the edges gray, because that's a cool look. But also you can add lazy rivers with water jets that kind of just slowly propel you down a little bit of a swimming pool river. But we're not going to do that for now. We're going to stick with a hexagon, and we're going to put a couple down here, just a couple of hexagonal balls. And there we go, like that, and like that. And that's as close to central as we're likely to get, but that looks pretty cool. So there we go, 2 balls, very deep. Now we're going to bring the swimming pool along like this, and bring it along the middle, so it opens up over here. This is going to look pretty cool. But we're going to transition now away from this hexagonal kind of stamp effect, over to a square one. So here we go, using smaller squares, we're going to extend the pool up this way in kind of like a long, straight shaft. This is looking pretty good so far. Tricky to get right, but once you do, that's pretty good. And of course, it's still pretty deep, but I don't think we want that. We want this to be more of like a swimming depth, so we're going to change that by just changing to swimming depth and going back and painting back over these little bits of swimming pool. Super powerful, super easy. There we go, so the balls are deep and the shaft is kind of swimming depth. Very cool, so the idea is you come into the park, you kind of come into the balls, you dive in because it's very deep, and then you swim up the shaft out to like an exit at the top. And there we go, that's quite a nice length, and there is a tasteful thickness to this as well. Now we want to kind of like round off the top. I want to kind of like a bit of like a semicircle that expands out, and we can kind of branch off there into the rest of our theme park. So what we've done here is we've used the draw tool with the curve section to get this nice clean semicircle like that. Finish it up like that. It's a little bit of rough around the edges, but you know what? I think for the most part, this is a pretty cool looking pool. So there we go, we have our swimming pool, and I'm honestly pretty pleased with how this looks. That is a very impressive specimen, to say the least. So now I want to add some pool extras. Here we go. So we're going to give them one of these nice, tall diving boards that we're going to plonk over... where do we want this? I reckon, yeah, right here at the back. And one on the other side as well, just like that. Make sure it's kind of symmetrical. It might as well be. And we're pretty good. Now, supervision is essential, so we're going to need some lifeguard towers. And what's really awesome about the lifeguard towers is that you get this kind of handy template that shows you exactly what these guys can see. So this guy has a nice vantage point right here, giving him a good look at the entire pool. And on the flip side, we want one over on the tip of the pool, looking back across it. Very good. Yeah, there we go, perfect. Oh, now check this out. You can also add wave machines. Oh man, that sounds amazing. But where can we put this? So we're going to try putting some of the hexagons at the back to see if we can kind of like blow the swimmers to the end of the pool. That might be cool. Now obviously we want ladders as well so people can escape. We'll put a couple of those around. Keep it somewhat symmetrical. And we're also going to sprinkle some sun loungers along the length of this pool. Oh yeah, looking pretty good. And again, keeping this as symmetrical as we possibly can. Now that's of course not all a swimming pool needs. We need more than just a lifeguard, a diving board, some ladders and some loungers. What we need are changing rooms now for people to actually get into their swimming outfits. And that's under facilities, then services. Now there's a few buildings here, most of them are related to the pools. So we're going to want changing rooms. Where are we going to put these? Oh man, now this does look very cool. And I'm thinking, honestly, along the sides of the pool. So there we go, one on that side, and we'll put another one over here. Try and again make sure it is symmetrical, because that's going to bother us later on if it's not. Looking pretty good. So 2 changing rooms, and yeah, we're in a good position right now. And we're also going to put a body dryer over here and one opposite on the other side as well. I don't really think these are essential, but they'll definitely be a help. Now there's just a couple of more things we need. Number 1, the park goers don't have a way to actually get to the swimming pool yet, so we need to put down a bit of a path. Very simple, and we're going to use the draw tool to kind of, yeah, get a good location on this. So if we hit the corner there, and then connect up to the corner there, come along here like this, connect up like that, fill in this weird pentagon, and boom, there we go. Now it all matches up, and people can get to the swimming pool. Very cool. And it looks pretty good as well, I will say so myself. But not only that, we need a way for people to actually pay for the pool. This is why we need to go into the facilities, and it's this other building over here, the guest services. Now apparently the people need guest services so they can actually buy a pool pass. I don't know what a pool pass is. I think it's required to go in the swimming pool. That's what we're going to put down. And we're going to plonk it over here right by the entrance to the park so people can come in, grab their pool pass, then go straight over to the pool and dive in balls deep. It's not the only thing people are going to need. They're also going to want to go to the toilet, so we'll put a toilet over here right next to it, if we can fit it in. I think we should be able to, though. It's going to be a tight squeeze, but yeah, you know what? There we go. That is fine. Now, on the other side of things, we're going to want a way to give people what they need. They've got the pool passes, they've got the toilets, but we also want to make sure we give them something to actually wee and poo out. And that's why we're going to need some food and drink. So we're going to go for... Ooh, we got some choices here with the food. Now, people are generally kind of nervous of sushi. I know a lot of people that just won't eat sushi because it's raw fish. Now, hot dogs are very much a big theme in our theme park, so we're going to go for a hot dog shop right over here. Bam, like that. And then right next to it, we want a drinks shop as well. So what kind of drinks do we want? Well, you know what? It's a tropical theme park, so people are going to want to cool down. So I reckon we're going to go for a slushie. Yeah, there we go. And this kind of fits quite well over here, but we're going to move this bin because that looks ugly. There we go, right in the middle, absolutely perfect. So we're very close to being able to open, but of course you can see these red squares. We're going to need to add some power. So we're going to go over to facilities. This is pretty simple to do. See if we can find it. So power is a bit of a weird one. You need power generators, but you also need power distributors. I don't know why. I think you put the power into the distributor and then you put it from the distributor into the different things. And we're going to try and hide these because just like in Planet Zoo, and I imagine Planet Coaster 1, people don't like looking at these things. So if we can put these out of the way, which we will do, over here, we can build a path that connects up so the engineers can get to this thing. But this should be okay, hidden away over here. Yeah, there we go. Then we're going to want the distributor, which we're going to put right next to it. Isn't essential where the access is to this, but we'll put it like this, so it's nice and uniform. This is looking pretty good. And now we connect up the wires. So boom, the power generator is now going to the distributor. So what we're also going to do is symmetrically create another power distributor over here, because it looks like what you do is you hook up distributors with these cables, and the distributors have like a sphere of influence around them that they will power. So in theory, if we put another distributor over here, like this, behind these trees, nice and out of the way, you can see it's just about got the body dryer over there in the circle. So if we put this down, connect it up like this, yeah, there we go. So now everything is powered. We're good to go. We can add another power generator over here if we do find that our power requirements spike above what we have. And that's absolutely everything, my dudes. There is a few little things I want to do before we get going. I want to add a few more trees. And there we go, that is the makings of our water park. This thing looks amazing already. We've got loads more room to work with, but we have a swimming pool in place. Let's get these dudes in and see if they go for a swim. Now, as you open your park, people with problems will appear on the left in notifications, so you can always kind of keep on top of what's going on in the park, see what people's problems are and fix them as they occur. Staff are trying to access a staff building, which is at full capacity. Okay, so we need a staff building. Oh, that's a good point. And we're going to hide the staff building over by our machinery, so we'll come over here by this other distributor and plonk it down. There we go, staff facility's small because we've only got like a small theme park at the moment. We shouldn't need it to be too big. And there we go, we've got a cheeky little tunnel now that goes underneath the main path section and connects up to our staff room. Amazing, that's going to work perfectly, I hope. We can also actually put the mechanics hut over here as well, because we're going to want to start doing research ASAP. Swivel it around, and yeah, this can basically be our staff alley where we put all of our staff buildings. That's a bit close, but you know what, this is out of the way. It's more of like a, utility area, so we're not too worried. Alright, so the people are flooding in, and oh my god, immediately we have a huge amount of problems. The changing rooms are absolutely rammed. We're gonna need way more of these, but the people really are enjoying the pool. I was worried that 2 changing rooms was going to be too many, but it looks like it's not even enough right now. Now, this isn't going to be a problem once we get more rides around the theme park, because at the moment, this pool is the only thing to do. All people want to do is jump off this diving board and get into the wet. But they are enjoying themselves. Now, we do have to be careful because we are losing money. We started with 50 grand and we're down to 33 grand, which is not a great place to be. But I do think we are probably still profitable. Let's take a look at park management and see what our finances are looking like. Oh yeah, look at this. So our income is like just shy of $6,000, whereas our costs are less than $100? Doesn't sound right, but it looks like we're on the right track. Now also our shops are closed, so we need to open up guest services, boom. And we need to open up the hot dog shop. Where's the hot dog shop? There we go. And of course, the slushy shop, and boom, these are open for business as well. This might help alleviate some of the people going to the pool, because they're going to want to come and buy some food, some drink, and whatever goes on in guest services. Now, Planet Coaster does things in a weird way compared to most theme parks. So most theme parks I've been to, you basically pay at the gate to get in, and all the rides are free. In Planet Coaster, it works the other way around. Most of the time it's very cheap to get into the park, if not free, and the customers pay at the specific ride to go on it. That sounds like a bit of a rip-off to me, but it does mean we kind of don't want to increase our park prices too much. Oh yeah, look how full this thing is. But yeah, we do have some major gridlock going on here. Look how many people are desperate to get over here to the changing rooms. And oh my god, the queue to get in is colossal. So we could stand to add a couple more changing rooms for sure. But as the day dawns on day one, the park is looking pretty cool so far. There's still a lot of progress to be made. Also, I'm not sure how much I like these buildings. They're very big, they're very blue, they're very garish. We can add some trees and things to make things look nicer, but it's not exactly a very pretty looking style. It's a bit utilitarian, a bit too modern for my liking, but the park is in full swing. We're going to stop there, and next episode we're going to move on to some of the rides. I mean, it's called Planet Coaster, so we definitely need at least one roller coaster. And also, it would be pretty cool to add a flume or some kind of water slide to our pool. If you've got any tips, comments, or things you'd like to see from this mini-series, do let me know in the comment section. But so far, I'm really enjoying Planet Coaster 2. I think it's super amazing. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you want to see more, and let me know in the comment section that this is your kind of game. And until next time, take care.